Welcome back to another Makeup Artist Monday. It's artistry like bam. Alright guys, this week is part 2 of the Complexion series, so let's hop right in. Starting off by using a little bit of corrector and concealer. I have this on a palette and you'll notice that I go back and forth between the two products to kind of sculpt and brighten the area that I'm looking for. So I'm using the concealer on the outside of the eye to really blend and diffuse and clean up any shadow that we used. And then where she has a little bit of more purple or darkness underneath the eye, I'm going in right here with a little bit of corrector. So the corrector is going to go in and help me color correct and also brighten that undertone and help neutralize that pigment in the under eye. So here you'll see me using a light fluffy brush from Urban Decay Cosmetics, just going in to spot conceal where I need a little bit more coverage on the face. Using this really dense fluffy brush from Urban Decay Cosmetics, I'm going to go through the face and kind of spot conceal where I need a little bit more coverage, and then you'll notice afterwards I'm going to put on the foundation after to really blend and make sure everything is really seamless and beautiful. But this is really important. You'll notice that a lot of makeup artist professionals like myself, we do spot concealing so that we can conceal and build our coverage where we need it so that the skin doesn't look heavy or cakey. You actually just have coverage where you need it, and then I'm using that brush to diffuse everywhere else. So this is a really great tip. Next, I'm taking a little bit of concealer to brighten and neutralize the face where she has a little bit more redness. And the skin, this is the Dior Forever concealer. I love these concealers. They're very creamy, buildable, they look like skin, and they have really nice coverage. As you can see, exactly where I applied it makes the skin look really flawless and blendable. And I'm using the same color to go over just a little bit more blemishes, just to hide a little bit more imperfections so that we have a really beautiful, neutral, natural canvas to build that foundation on. Next, we're going in with my favorite foundation, the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is a cult classic, tried and true. I have several colors of this in my beautiful bridal kit. This looks so great on photographs, and in person, it looks like skin. It never settles into fine lines or wrinkles. It is very luminous and hydrating. It just really does a great job of looking perfect on the skin as long as you find your correct color. It's very fluid, very hydrating, which I love, and she absolutely loved the way this looked on her too. She was telling me in this moment as well that she has a trouble finding a foundation in her undertone, and I was describing to her what her undertone is and how she can correct it and find it, and then what shade this foundation is because it looks absolutely beautiful on her. I'm going in with an Urban Decay foundation brush just to kind of pat and stamp in where I need a little bit more coverage, but you can see how absolutely flawless and beautiful this foundation is. So leave me a comment down below if you've tried the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is such a beautiful foundation. As you can see, it goes on like a dream, blends really beautifully. Here I'm applying it with the Urban Decay foundation brush, really getting on where I want a little bit more of that coverage. And then you'll notice that I'm taking a bigger, larger, fluffy powder brush and diffusing my coverage and really blending it all into the skin so that everything looks really smooth, married together, really flawless, and really seamless on the skin as well. Using a synthetic brush from Delium Tools, this is an amazing brush because it allows me to blend and really diffuse and make the foundation look very airbrush-like. You can see that I'm just flicking my brush around the skin and then patting it where I need a little bit more coverage and building it, and going in just to stamp and build that coverage. It does such an amazing job. It's synthetic, so it doesn't absorb any moisture from the product, which is really influential. And now we're going to go on to bronzing the skin. Before we move on to the bronzer, we're going to go make sure that the neck is really blended, make sure we bring that foundation down. I'm using that fluffy brush so that everything stays diffused. Using a really beautiful warm golden bronzer from Chanel, you can see that I'm using a very fluffy, big diffusing powder brush to apply this. We're really just going to create a nice soft amount of warmth on the skin, just a really toasted skin effect if you call it. And this is a beautiful look, and this allows me to really warm up the complexion now that we've made everything so beautifully even. Going in to brighten the cheeks, I'm using the Makeup by Mario Mauve Blush. This is really beautiful because it is very soft, but it's also going to give me that like really beautiful bright peachy effect to the skin. You can see me diffusing it right there on the cheeks, and it really just brings the whole look together, don't you think? I absolutely adore these blushes because they're so smooth, very blendable, and they absolutely work. Exactly where you want the pigment is where you put it, and they blend like a dream, as you can see. Going in with that Master Mattes palette from Makeup by Mario, I'm using an angled brush to sculpt out her brow. This is a really beautiful soft camel warm brown, and I'm using a little bit of a deeper brown to go in and really sculpt, define, and give her a little bit more definition where I want it, and then diffusing and flicking the brush to build the coverage and really just kind of fill in her brow a little bit, but just really make it nice and natural and soft, not to give her too much shape, but really just beautifully sculpt the brow. If you guys would like a full in-depth brow tutorial, please let me know in the comments down below and I can definitely do that for you guys. Next, we're going in with the Esam lip palette, and I'm going to start by softly giving her a really beautiful peach lip. This is a really creamy pigmented formula, so a very little bit goes a long way. I just want to start with a little bit on the outer portion of the lip and then softly blend it into the center of the lip to really balance out the look. We don't want to make the lip the focus, so we just want to really nicely diffuse this into the lip and make sure it's really blended and really beautiful. I absolutely love this color on her. I think this is such a pretty color for all times of year. Using a lip brush makes me feel so fancy. As a kid, I used to watch the Hollywood starlets from the 1920s always do their perfect red lips with their beautiful lip brushes, and I was so fascinated with that. And so now that I'm an artist and get to use my own lip brushes, I absolutely love using a lip brush to create this look. So this is the final look. What do you guys think? Beautiful, balanced, the complexion is bright, natural, and there you go. Thank you so much. We will see you next Makeup Artist Monday, guys, and have a great week.